There's no such thing as something for nothing, and we can see that across a multitude of analogies and cosmic laws, including the law of cause and effect, which we're going to be talking about in this video. We're going to understand some key principles, and we're going to learn how to utilize this law in order to improve the results that we're getting in our life. So first, we're going to define what it actually is, the law of cause and effect. And the law of cause and effect tells us that every effect in our life has a specific identifiable cause, and every action produces a corresponding reaction. This also tells us that thoughts, behaviors, and actions act as seeds that create our reality, leaving no room for true chance or luck. So some key principles that we have. The first one is action equals results. The second one, mental creation. The third, the butterfly effect. And the fourth is personal responsibility. So action equals reaction. This means every action we take or fail to take has or creates a cause that shapes our future. So the action is the cause that is shaping the results that we're getting, or the action that we fail to take, which is shaping the results that we're getting. So say you go to the gym, you're working out, the results you're going to get, you're going to build muscle. Or if you don't go to the gym, you're not going to build anything because you're failing to take action. Everything that we do or don't do has a result. The next one, understanding this principle of how this works, is mental creation. The law of cause and effect tells us that our external world, the outside world, the things that we see out here, is a direct reflection of our internal mental world. As above, so below. Everything that we see in planet came from the mental plane. Everything came from a first thought. This is why this channel is built around thoughts turning into things. It's waking up to understanding that we are creating our reality. The next one we have is the butterfly effect. Small, seemingly insignificant causes can lead to major, far-reaching effects over time. And this is important to understand because a lot of people think, when they think of the butterfly effect, they're like, well, if I went left, this would have happened if I didn't go right. But really, it's these little things that we're doing every day is creating a big change over time. The last one we have is personal responsibility. If you're unhappy with the effects or the results that you're getting in your life, such as your financial status, health, or relationships, you must change the cause, which is the action or the thoughts. As above, so below. You're not going to get a different effect by trying to change an effect. You can't get a different effect by trying to change an effect. You have to go to the root cause. What is causing our effect? And once we understand this thing, we can look back and realize every effect that we're getting has a specific identifiable cause. But what people tend to do here in this personal responsibility category is they push their responsibility on other people, on everything else, on other things. It's the government's fault, it's the president's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my spouse's fault, it's everybody else's fault but mine. Not realizing that. Now, I'm not saying that everything was your direct doing. Sometimes somebody else's causes something and you're affected by the result. But at the end of the day, you still have the responsibility to how you respond. So essentially what this is telling us is that we reap what we sow. And we can look at that with this as well. When we realize that this is our cause and this is our effect, if you put 1, you get 1. If you put 2, you get 2. You put 3, you get 3. Essentially, again, you reap what you sow. And what people don't realize is they want a lot, yet they're not willing to give a lot. They want a lot of different effects, yet they're not willing to change what's causing these different effects. Nothing changes if nothing changes. What is causing the effects we're getting in our life? So again, essentially all this is saying is that you reap what you sow, which is frequently linked to the concept of karma. This principle emphasizes that positive actions generate positive effects, while negative actions create negative effects. 1 gets back 1, 2 gets back 2. Once you understand the principle of this, you get to see how we can utilize this. So how do we utilize this? The first one we have here is mindset mastery. Because actions stem from thoughts, changing your mindset is the first step towards altering your reality. And we saw this in the previous videos that this represents us. And up here, we have our mind. The top half is the conscious mind. The bottom half is the subconscious mind. Now, when you look at this and you understand this top half as the thinking mind and this bottom half as the emotional mind, you see how the flow goes towards the body, which is operating on some vibration, which ultimately is giving us the action vibration, which is ultimately getting us the results that we're getting in our life. So we just saw with the mindset mastery, because actions, what we're getting here, these are the actions, they stem from the mindset, and the thoughts must pass through your emotional system. Because when we're looking at the effect, if you are getting, we'll say about money, if the effect that you're getting in life is with money, and the cause behind it, if you think, however you think about money, if you think that money is hard to get and you feel this way, the actions you take are going to be based on this. Versus if you change the way that you think, and the only way that you think today is because of repetition. The thoughts that you think today are accumulation of a long time. So when people start to get into this stuff, they think it doesn't work because they're running on a program that's been formed for a long time. And they come in and they try to do these things and it doesn't work immediately. So they're like, no, it doesn't work. But the truth is, it does work. You're just maybe not doing it for long enough to see it come to fruition. So if you're thinking negative about money and you try to change what it looks like, you try to change a job, you try to change this, without changing how you actually feel about the money and how you think about the money, it's not gonna ever truly change out here. And this, understanding this concept is how you improve this, because you realize even if it doesn't happen today, it's gonna happen. The cause always produces an effect. So moving forward, mindset mastery, mastering this mindset about the way I perceive the world improves your utilization of this. Changing your mindset is the first step towards altering your reality. The next one we have is intentionality. Proactively, rather than reactively, choose your behaviors to ensure they lead to your desired future results. The key words here is proactively rather than reactively. A lot of people tend to react to what's happening to them. They have these 5 senses and we're experiencing the world. We're smelling, we're tasting, we're touching, we're hearing, and we're seeing things. And if you've ever met a hot-headed person, any reaction, anything that's happening outside in the world, you can see how easy it is that it's going to make them blow up and they're just going to react. What we want to do is slow down and intentionally, proactively, rather than reactively, choose our behaviors to ensure they lead to your desired future results. And that goes back to why it's important to have a clear understanding of where I'm trying to do. Because if you don't know where you're going, it's going to be hard to steer that ship. So we must be intentional with what we're doing, intentional to make sure that it's going to the desired outcome that we want. The next one we have is continuous improvement. Since effects are often delayed, consistent and persistent action is required to see lasting changes. Now, this is just one law, the law of cause and effect, but understanding the other laws that govern and work together these things will help you implement all these in life. The biggest takeaway here is this continuous improvement, that we're having a growth mindset, because you're either going in one way or the other. You're either growing or you're dying. And once you lock in and you decide that I am going to be a person who continuously grows, no matter what I'm seeing, no matter what reality I'm experiencing now, you're going to continue to win. And when you improve and you utilize these 3 sections, you're going to get better results in your life. So this was the law of cause and effect. We talked about the key principles, and we talked about how to utilize this law in order to improve the results that you're getting in your life. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you all.